Hey Ron, how's it going? I just wanted to pop in here and create a video because I was actually just listening to something on a podcast on my walk here, and they were talking about these particular podcasters were talking about the superiority of grass-fed beef over conventional beef. And I'll be the first. I personally try to buy grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic animal products, but mainly because, not particularly because of the superior health benefits, which I want to talk a little bit about, but mostly because of the way the animals are treated and raised. I believe it's better for the animals and frankly for the environment more than whatever health benefits you get for that. In this particular case, these podcasters were talking about how you can get so much, I can't remember the exact numbers, but so much more protein from grass-fed beef than you can from the same cut of conventional beef. I think it was something like 20 grams more protein for 10 or 20 calories more or something like that, which is not a small amount of protein, but the question is not necessarily, is the amount of protein worth it? And does that make grass-fed beef superior to conventional beef? It's really looking at the cost of purchasing that product versus what the main problem is with most people's diets and most people's protein intake, right? So the biggest problem that we see is not people aren't healthy because they're not eating grass-fed or pasture-raised organic animals, right? It's because instead of eating any kind of animal products, they're eating Twinkies, donuts, cookies, just a bunch of highly processed food. And even if they switch from some of those foods out for any kind of animal product, whether it be yogurt, conventional chicken or pork or beef or lamb or whatever, right? Any kind of swap from an unprocessed or a highly processed food to a unprocessed whole food is going to be a win. Debating whether people should be eating grass-fed beef versus conventional beef is majoring in the minors for most people's diets, right? The average person's diet, right? So if you have your diet dialed in, you're trying to squeeze out everything you can from the food you're eating, you're trying to manipulate calories and body composition at a very high level, and you want to start talking about the potential extra protein that you get from eating grass-fed beef versus conventional beef and the protein per calorie ratio, et cetera, fine. We'll have a conversation about that. But for 95% of the population, just making the swap from highly processed foods to some kind of whole food and replacing the bagel with cream cheese and glass of orange juice that they have for breakfast with some eggs and some smoked salmon in the morning, or eggs and yogurt, or swapping out the foot-long sandwich from Subway for a nice big salad with some grilled salmon on top of it or some steak on top of it. Even if that salmon is farm raised and that steak is conventionally raised, they're, from a diet quality perspective, from a health perspective, they're going to be vastly more healthier and better for them. And trying to only select for the highest quality protein sources you can might put a message out there, why even bother if you can't go to the store or you can't afford it or you can't go to a restaurant and get something like that where it's grass-fed and pasture-raised and wild-caught and all that stuff. If you can't find that stuff or you don't have access to it or can't afford it, eating the conventional stuff is still getting you 95% of the benefit that you're trying to get out of the diet swap. It's the act of not eating the foot-long sandwich from Subway and replacing it with the salad with the salmon on top of it that's getting you 95% of the health benefits. It's not the fact that the salmon was wild caught or the vegetables in that salad are organic and pesticide free, non-GMO and all that stuff. Like, those all have some potential benefits. I'm not debating that fact. But for the average person who's eating the average diet, that's not where 95% of the gains are coming from. It's coming from just replacing the highly processed food with the whole minimally processed food. So I just want to make that clear. I do think that there are definitely values in things like wild-caught, grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic, non-GMO foods. I'm not saying that none of that stuff has an impact on us, but for the average person, that's not where they're getting most of their gains from. They're getting most of their gains from the fact of just removing the highly processed foods and replacing it with some whole unprocessed food. If you like that type of content and you're looking for more of that, please consider signing up for my newsletter. You can do so at rjbhealth.coach. Click on the newsletter tab at the top and enter your email address. And this is the type of content that I put out on a weekly basis. And this is, if you like this type of content, you sign up there and you'll get more of it delivered directly to your inbox, which is cool. And if you need help navigating all this diet stuff, which can be confusing, conflicting, and hard to really know what's the right answer, I do have a couple one-on-one coaching spots open. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, please reach out to me, or you can go to my website again at rjbhealth.coach. Click on the schedule discovery call button and fill out that form that you find there, and I'll jump on a Zoom call with you and we can chat a little bit more about coaching. With that, I hope everyone has a great day and I'll talk to you all soon.